All right, so next skill will be compare and order fractions. Compare fractions with unlike denominators. So it says which fraction is less, 2/5, 4/10, or it says neither. They are equal. So 2/5, I can do two things to compare these. I can do cross multiplication or I can use benchmark. I'm going to do cross multiplication first to compare these. Cross multiplication is butterfly method. So 5 times 4 is 20, and 2 times 10 is also 20. So these two fractions are equal. So neither one of them is less. And I could also think about, can I do something to 2 to get 4 and also do the same thing to 5 to get 10? I can. I can multiply by 2, and that will give me 4. Then I multiply this by 2, and that'll give me 10. So these are equivalent fractions. So neither, they are equal. Which fraction is greater? I have 1/3, then I have 2/6. Okay, so I could ask myself, is there something I could multiply top and bottom by? That's going to get me the same thing. And let's see. Actually, if I multiply this by 2, I get 2. And if I multiply this by 2, I get 6. So these are also equivalent fractions. So neither is greater. And if I did butterfly method, 1 times 6 is 6. 3 times 2 is 6. So that's going to show me that they're equal. Okay, which fraction is greater? I can see that 5, 6, and 10, 12. 5 times 2 is 10, 6 times 2 is 12. So they're equal as well. All right, so let's go to the next level. Which fraction is less? I have 8/9 and 2/12. Going to cross multiply. 8 times 12 going to be 96. 9 times 2 is 18. So this fraction is bigger. 8/9 is bigger. And if I think about benchmark, I can see there a long way that this one is almost a whole and this one is far from a whole. So I know this fraction has to be bigger. So it says which fraction is less? This one is less. 2/12 is less. Which fraction is greater? So for these, I have 4/6 and then I have 6/9. So I'm going to cross multiply. 4 times 9 is 36. 6 times 6 is also 36. So they're equal. So neither, they are equal. And which fraction is less? Well, this one is way far from being a whole. This one is definitely closer to being a whole, so this is bigger. So this one is less. Which fraction is greater? Okay, this is simple, so let me go to another level. Because you can always cross multiply or just think about benchmark. Which is greater, 11/13 or 18/19? Well, 18/19 is almost a whole. So that one is going to be greater. Which fraction is less? 2/14, 1/7. Looks like equivalent because 2 divided by 2 is 1. 14 divided by 2 is 7. So these are equivalent. And if I work backwards, 1 times 2 will give me 2. 7 times 2 will give me 14. So they're equivalent. Which fraction is greater? This one is greater. This is far from a whole. This is closer. So this is greater. And that is it. This is a simple skill. Let's go to the next one. Put fractions in order. Put these fractions in order from least to greatest. Okay, so I know that least, this one is probably going to be the least because it's the furthest away from a whole. So then my next one would be, and for this one, they all have the same numerator, so I actually could just look at my denominator. And the biggest denominator is going to be the smallest one. So this one, then this one, then this one, then this one is the biggest because it's the smallest denominator. So the bigger the denominator, the smaller the piece. So these pieces are going to be smaller. So if I only have 3 of these compared to having 3 of these, 3/8, eighths are going to be bigger than 12. So that lets me know that this is the greater fraction. All right, put these in order from least to greatest. They all have the same numerator again. So I could just look at the denominator. The least, so the smallest denominator is 8. The next is 10, then 11, then 12. So that's least to greatest. Oops, going too fast. 2, 12. What did I do wrong? I put 7, 8. Oh, I did it the other way around. I was supposed to have done least to greatest, and I did greatest to least. So yeah. No, I did not even do that. Hold on. 7 12 would be the least. Yeah, because that's the biggest denominator. And then 11, then 10, then 8. What did I do? 7, 8. So why did I put 7, 8, and then 7 12? I don't know. This is what I put. 8, 10, 11, 12. I put them in order from greatest to least. That's what I did. Okay. Going too fast. All right. Next one. Put these in order from least to greatest. So the least, the smallest, they're all the same numerator. So the smallest fraction is going to be the one with the biggest piece. The smallest piece, sorry. So least would be 11, then 10, then 8. So 6/11 is definitely smaller than 10, 6/10. 6/8 would be the biggest out of these. This is closer to a whole than these. Okay, least to greatest again. These have the same denominator, but not numerator. So if they have the same denominator, then the one with the most pieces is the biggest. So the least would be this one. Then the next one, then this one would be the biggest fraction. Okay, these have the same numerator. Least to greatest is going to be, the least is this one because it's the biggest denominator, then this one. So this would be the smaller fraction. I only have 2 shaded out of 9, and this one I have 2 shaded out of 7. This one I have 2 shaded out of 3. So you see how this is closer to a hole than this. All right, let's go to another level. Put these fractions in order from least to greatest. These don't have anything the same. So now I have to see this is 6/12, 1/3, and 3/4. Well, I know 3/4 is almost a whole. So that's going to be the biggest. And then 6/12 is a half. 1/3 is less than a half. But if I want to double check these, I could, couple of things I could do. I could turn them into decimals. I could also get a common denominator. Now let me do that one since that's something we haven't looked at. So getting a common denominator out of these 3, 12, and 4, I know my common denominator would be 12 because both 4 and 3 can go into 12. So that will give me 12 as the denominator for all of them. So I need to see what times 3 gives me 12, and that will be 4. So I have to do times 4 up here. 1 times 4 is 4. This one is already over 12, so I keep it that way. Then for this one, I need to see what times 4 gives me 12, and that's going to be 3. So if I do times 3 here, I have to do times 3 up there, which will give me 9. So as you can see, put them in order from least to greatest. 4/12, then 6/12, then 9/12. This is closer to a whole, so this is the biggest fraction. Now I could also, now that if I did have these set up and I want to make sure, I know that this is a half, and I know that this is more than a half. So if I needed to double check between these two, I could cross multiply. I could do 1/3 and 6/12. 1 times 12 is 12. 3 times 6 is 18. So I knew that this fraction was the bigger one. So, yep, that's that. Okay, putting these in order from least to greatest. 5/12 is almost a half, but not quite a half. So that's less than a half. 1/4 is farther from a half. And 3/6 is a half. So I could think about my benchmark for this one. So this is the smallest. This one is next to the smallest. Then this one is the greatest because it's a half. And if I needed to, I could check these two to make sure. Well, I know that 6/12 would be a half. So yeah, that has to be right. Put these fractions in order from greatest to least. The greatest of these will be 3/4 because it's almost a whole. Oh, well, can't say that because 2/3 is almost a whole too. So I can cross multiply to check those two. So 3/4 compared to 2/3. Also, I can think about the denominators are very close to. So yeah, 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 2 is 8. So yep, 3/4 is bigger. So greatest to least, this one, and this one. Go to the next level. Put these fractions in order from least to greatest. The least of these will be 3/7. The next, this is a half. This is more than a half because 5/6 is almost a whole. So that's going to be that. And that's the hardest level. So this one is 4 of them. So let's see if we can do this one using benchmark. 7/8 is almost a whole. So that's going to be the biggest. 1/5 is far from a whole, so that's going to be the smallest probably. Then 2/7 is far from a whole. 6/9 is closer to a whole. So 2 7s and 1/5. These are, don't know for sure about those, so I'm going to cross multiply to check those two. 2 7s and 1/5. If I cross multiply, 2 times 5 is 10. 7 times 1 is 7. So, yep, this one is bigger than this one. 2 7s is bigger. So that one would come first. So I had it right. Alrighty, that's it for that skill. Pretty simple. Next is adding and subtracting fractions. So I'll do that one on a separate video. Actually, no, I won't. I'll go ahead and do these because this is going to be pretty. This is unlike denominators. Adding with unlike denominators, subtracting with unlike denominators, adding and subtract mixed number word problems. Okay. Adding with unlike denominators. Finding a common denominator is the first. No, I'm going to not do it. Let me stop this video and just do this on another one.